Here are some ways that Vindictus Defying Fate can improve upon its existing features in the pre-alpha test that is now live. If you haven't heard, Vindictus Defying Fate is an ARPG 3D game that takes place in the same world of the MMO Vindictus that came out in 2009 by the same company Nexon. It is listed as being made for Windows, consoles, and the Nintendo Switch. Although for now, as far as I'm concerned, I think it is only available on Steam. For PC, according to the team behind the game, this is not Vindictus 2 and it is primarily designed for single player mode with plans to add in multiplayer mode as an option. Also, this is not an open world game, but rather you going through a restricted maps with different types of enemies along the way. It seems to take inspiration from both the MMO Vindictus, its action combat, and a bit of Souls game with the way it is formatted. As for PvP, it has yet to be decided. The game is pretty simple. It has a hack and slash sort of combat with dodge mechanics, and you basically walk through again a restricted map filled with mobs until you reach a boss. Then you basically repeat the process. Now I want to touch on specific issues that I think can be heavily improved based on the pre-alpha test. When it comes to the graphic, I think the graphic looks really good. It's not my concern. To be honest, in a game like this, an action RPG, this graphic is more than enough to let it slide. I'm more worried about the gameplay and the performance in the end product. So to start, first thing first, they need to allow us to customize the keybind, as currently there is no way to change them. And the default controls are all over the place. It's really what I struggle the most in my playthrough. The camera speed, movement speed also needs to be enhanced, as I find that even the highest speed isn't quite where I want it to be. It works fine for the most part, but I can imagine somewhere down the line I probably would want an even faster camera speed. Speaking of camera, there also needs to be a zoom feature so you can get a better visual of the enemies circling you, so you can react properly, because if you're not careful, the enemies can surround you and they will basically block your path. There's going to be enemies, mobs in all directions, and either you're going to have to overpower by using special attacks and hopefully kill one of them, or find loopholes in between each target, and then hopefully you might be able to get away from that. There is an issue of balance that I noticed with ranged enemy, specifically archers. I noticed that if you don't dodge the arrows, even if the target isn't facing you or aiming at you, they would still hit you. Now this could be an issue of pre-alpha, but I just want to put it out there, because if it's not fixed, it's just making the game more difficult by giving the enemies more advantages without legitimate reason or logic behind them. Because if I can't hit an enemy or land a hit without properly aiming my attacks, why should the enemy be able to hit me if they're not shooting me within their range or by properly aiming their attacks? I do also have to point out that there seems to be a delay or even a non-responsiveness when you use your special skills immediately after dashing or using a combo. This makes combo a bit ineffective when you try to combine your regular chain of skills with your special attacks. Hopefully this gets fixed before the game officially launches, as again it makes the combo a bit difficult. I don't understand why there would be you wouldn't be able to combine the two of them. In addition, your dodges can sometimes feel delayed as well, but they do work for the majority of the time. But I would highly recommend that they fine-tune the responsiveness to ensure a smooth gameplay upon release. Speaking of mechanics, the dual sword class does not have a block or parry, but they should add either a parry or at least a limited block with stamina. This should be implemented to make up for the lock-in animations when you trigger certain combos past your initial attacks, to allow you to respond to an enemy attack, especially bosses. Otherwise, you're stuck using just normal attacks, as going any further than that, you would risk being in animation lock and the boss hitting you, which could potentially be fatal. Basically, either make a parry where you can redirect or reflect an attack, or a stamina block that can be activated during any skill animations. All in all, this pre-alpha test is pretty good for what it is. Be sure to provide your feedbacks to the game if you're interested. With that being said, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and leave a like, and I will see you soon.